The gift. The equation of normal person plus anonymity plus audience equals total jerkwad. I'm going to review its theory crafting because that's what it is at the end of the day. Theory crafting. I'm reading these lines off of the page on TV tropes page for the gift. But anyway, yeah, here we go. This phenomenon has been studied in an academic setting, sure, and by all accounts the satirical analysis is spot on. What? A trusted friend online who has not revealed his real name to anybody online has actually been called the nicest user on YouTube, and not without reason. Trust me, if you read the discussion, you would see why very quickly. Yeah, that bit alone deconstructs the entire idiocy that is the gift, and we have hardly gotten started. Next line is, normal people become more aggressive when they think their behavior carries no real-world social consequences. Never mind that I have been mugged in broad daylight by teenagers who were under police watch because they were on parole for having committed crimes before. And believe me, I was being polite. These were random teens who simply saw an easy target for robbery. Honestly, I'm inclined to believe that there's no such thing as normal, because if there was, it would involve being genuinely nice. When people do not have to Next line is, when people do not have to worry about getting in trouble with their loved one, school, or place of employment, or getting in a direct physical altercation with anyone, they feel that they have nothing to lose by being shameless and several jerks behind the veil of anonymity that is the internet. Right, what you are in the dark. That's not anonymity allowing somebody to be a jerk. That's them being a jerk in and of themselves. Hence, next line is, hence the depressingly large number of people who think that being a troll is funny. Why? Because humans are bastards? I'm sorry, but that is the general case you're describing, and it's a farce that you can even find being a troll to be funny. There are other ways to be funny, like self-deprecating humor. And being funny isn't the only way to provide healthy entertainment. There's self-involved challenges like speedruns and perfect runs. There's top 10s or top 5s or whatever. There's let's playing. There's commentary about a game's design. And believe me, it's not all negative. I simply get critical when a game is rewarding uncreative behavior. And those are off the top of my head. I'm sure there's even more ideas for what to do as opposed to trolling. Of course, these same morons who agree with the gift theory craft think that the internet is the perfect place to spew all the bigoted, hypocritical, provocative, or otherwise hateful bile that they would never say in real life. Hey, here's an idea. How about do some constructive things with the internet, like make a website? Even the groundwork for the website would be infinitely more pleasing than mocking people who could, help you handle that. Oh, and guess what? Normal websites were the norm in the early days of the internet. Yeah, now tell me now the internet was intended to be a troll hive. Excuse me. The gift also contributes to the pervasiveness of cyberbullying among kids and teenagers, which is actual suicides. No surprise when it inherently causes a slippery slope. You can say that when everybody is cruel, nobody is cruel. But it's just like saying that when everybody is special, nobody is special. Both fallacies are painfully relying on things being relative to work. They ignore the fact that the standard is affected all the same. The idea of anonymity is a irresistible corruption. Due to the lack of consequences and escape from restraints caused by being watched is extremely pervasive. So, any guy who wants to be married for actual love rather than simply, at least, the obvious reason, is inherently brain dead, and wouldn't have been a reason for a being to have a morality that in some way, shape, or form. character who was broken because he watched his bloody love interest, somebody else, died to their mutual ruin because she was helplessly turned into a weapon against her own village. They think the character in question is a complete monster, rather than simply being a very blatant, very nasty case of he who fights monsters across the moral event horizon with his message, no matter how idiotic his goal actually is. I'm sorry, but what I'm pointing out is that there's blatant bias going on. Of course the anonymity is irresistible, because the people who would abuse it in a heartbeat are corrupt in and of themselves. Certainly might have done darwinistic standards that happened. And the standards aren't dumb, because they are inherently shallow. They do not want to think at the difficulty level of what is going on. All they care about is who is the best. And then they have the gall to make excuses like, I'm dead out. Never mind that excuses is hypocritical on their part too. But hey, it's not like they need to care about individuality. Oh, and by the way, that thing about somebody wanting a morality bit, anybody who would inherently must have some problems in their psyche, but at least they'd rather, I don't know, do something about it. Oh my God. What a farce that is. Next line. Think of the people who leave unholy messages in public restrooms. Okay, sure, well I think of the people who leave money for charity things. Nobody sees them do it, and they almost certainly wouldn't make such a mess in their own bathroom when they had to clean it up, hopefully, or when they're, I guess in someone's home. Well, guess what? Nobody sees people do something like provide money to a charity for dealing with an some disease, and they almost certainly wouldn't have their mind it, so nobody would figure out what their reason could be. Like, hey, maybe this guy was reading the attached letters, caught on that the kid who wrote it went through the second half of his first 5 years going through chemotherapy, and oh look, the kid is no longer dealing with the disease, and is simply being thoughtful. Now I will grant that there are enough examples of humans are bastards that have me frustrated as I am in general, but the gift is believing that they are inherently sadistic, when there's too many reasons why that's simply not the case. The theorycraft is just the result of too many people, such as ad hominem kun, aka Roundfield, a guy who has the nerve to call me a masochist, being sociopaths in and of themselves, abusing the power that they have, usually not even having earned that power, by the way, to cause nothing but pain and suffering that spreads like wildfire with the choices they make just for cheap laughs, rather than caring to improve the creativity standards. That's the big issue. They're simply both amoral beyond belief, which should be self-explanatory, and pathetic by their own messed up standards.